Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey thee alone and live according to truth. परमोच प्रभु सत्यम नित्य त्वमेव केवलम अनुवर्तामहि सत्यम अनुजीवम केवलम ओम शांति शांति शांति. Namaste, Vande Matram, good morning, welcome all of you. Today, the most important topic we are going to discuss in this spiritual session is on Essential 5. The topic of today's discussion is on Essential 5. The caption will be on Essential 5. Essential 5, these essentials, it indicates only those are essential for this sadhana to progress in the spiritual path. That Essential 5 is the most important thing. Any sadhak must remember at his initial moment. It is most required topic, that is Essential 5. So initially, before going discussion, of course it is a short discussion, it is a brief discussion, everything we are doing here. So this Essential 5 we are concentrating on faith, rejection, aspiration, surrender and japa. So these are the things, 5 things that are most essential for this endeavoring in sadhana, for pursuing in sadhana, to pass this in the roads of sadhana, in the path of sadhana. These Essential 5 is most essential, we must remember, and then we'll proceed. So again I will try to quote it. These Essential 5, it constitutes faith, rejection, aspiration, surrender and nama japa, of course. So in short, it is quoted as Vipra asana, Vishwas, Pratyakhan, Aspruha, Samarpan and nama japa. Of course, for the English hearing people, it is faith, rejection, aspiration, surrender and nama japa. So go one by one, we'll try to discuss in the lights of Sri Aurobindo here in this, what is the essential, what is the necessity of these things, why it is called most essential 5. Initially we'll go, this is our Vishwas or faith. Sri Aurobindo quotes, without faith, nothing decisive can be achieved. Without faith, nothing decisive can be achieved, either in the world or in possession of the world above. Because we are staying in the confines of the world, this earthly life. But thing is that it is more above the world also, so many things are there. So, nothing decisive can be achieved without faith. Faith is the most essential factor in this sadhana. See in the quotes next, faith in the heart is the obscure and often distorted reflection of a hidden knowledge. This knowledge is there, it is hidden inside us, it is better hidden inside the heart. But thing is that faith in the heart, it is the heart, in the quotes it, focuses it, stresses upon the heart. Faith in the heart is the obscure and often distorted reflection of a hidden knowledge. A hidden knowledge is there, but we are we are concentrating upon the surface obscurity and upon distorted reflections of a hidden knowledge. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes, faith is the necessary means for arriving at a realization. Realization means it is actually spiritual realization initially. Then it will be elevated to the supramental realization, what is the aim and the objective. So initially this realization, any sort of realization, for this realization, to arrive at this realization, faith is necessary. For that actually the topic we have kept it, the topic caption is kept Essential 5, necessary 5. So faith is a necessary means for arriving at the realization. To arrive at the realization, faith is the most important thing to be arrived at, it is the major means. So next, during the course, faith is indeed knowledge, giving the ignorance and intimation itself previous to its own manifestation. Before the manifestation, it is giving an indication and intimation. So I'll try to quote it again. Faith is indeed knowledge. Faith is indeed knowledge, giving to ignorance. This knowledge giving to ignorance. Ignorance is lack of knowledge. So this faith is indeed the knowledge giving to ignorance and intimation. Faith is giving to ignorance and intimation. It's itself previous to its own manifestation. Before the faith is getting manifested, before the manifestation of the faith, it is giving a knowledge. It is actually knowledge giving to ignorance and intimation that it is going to be manifested. The time of manifestation is on. At the end of the flickering of faith, will cease. At the end, the flickerings of knowledge faith will cease. Now we are seeing some flickerings, but at the end, towards the end, it will cease. And for we shall see his face, his means one divine face, his is capital letter, and feel always the divine presence. Not only his face will see, but also will feel the divine presence. That is the most required thing. Faith fights for God while knowledge is withheld. So the thing is that it is going that way. And the second thing, here we have to stop because it is essential. We are going to discuss on 5 elements at a time. So after faith, we are going for this rejection. So rejection means we have to reject what are the not necessary or required in the path of the sadhana. Something is there that must be rejected because it is giving the resistance. It is bringing resistance in the path of sadhana. Rather, sometimes, of course, may not be, but sometimes it may also happen. For many, it has happened like an obstacle. So steer in the course is detect first what is false or obscure in you. How to reject? First, we have to identify it. We have to know that it is a falsehood, it is an obscurity, or it is something resisting us in the process of sadhana. So first, detect what is false or obscure in you. The thing what is false and second is obscure in you. Then persistently reject it. It is not a one thing, one time we are rejecting. After rejecting it, there is also a process. There is also a process they may rush in. So persistently reject it. Then alone can you rightly call for the divine power to transform you. For this transformation, if we can be able to identify it persistently, from first obscure in first, it has to be detected. Second, after the detection, it has to be rejected. After this detection and rejection, there will be a very empty space for the not for the ego but for the divine. He will come here, then we will call him, and for the divine power for the transformation. Then second time, the next message here in the quotes here, next sentence here in the quotes here, the transformation must be integral, and integral therefore the rejection of all that withstands it. So for the entire transformation, the with rejection also has to be rejected. The rejection to be entire. If some gap, some falsehood is there, then naturally this divine power, divine presence will not enable itself, or will not opt itself to be to rush in or descend in. So for the integral transformation, integral rejection is necessary. Somebody is asking God, why I am not always I am praying, always I am adoring, always I am worshipping, always I am with you, but why I don't know, I am not able to grasp your presence. Mother seeks that divine tells him that your heart is packed with the base is packed, the adhar is packed with ego only. Where is place for me? Just reject your egos, then I will get some place so that I will rush in. When we reject passionately, we mean simply that we can't appreciate and explain. So when we reject passionately, we mean simply rejecting that we can't appreciate and explain. So after this rejection, we are going for this aspiration. Of course, in a very important thing, aspiration shows the image of a crown. We aspire only for 4 subjects, that is God, light, immortality, and freedom. Excluding these 4, what other things we seek for, we intend, these are all first it will be desire. So desire is like a child heart's crying for bliss, but thing is that aspiration is most important thing. Without aspiration nothing can be done, because we must know basics of aspiration. With these knowings we have to aspire. If we are aspiring really, we will see the image of a crown. Sri Aurobindo quotes, aspiration shows the image of a crown. So here we'll quote Sri Aurobindo, couple of lines on aspiration. Sri Aurobindo speaks of aspire intensely but without impatience. This aspiration should be consistent, should be intense, but there should not be any impatience overall. There is no need of words in the aspiration. While somebody is going for aspiration, there should not be the use of word. Words may be it may be expressed or unexpressed in words. It may be void of word. It may be devoid of words. It may be required or it may not be required, because words are not is the inner concept. The source aspiration, there is no need of the aspiration. Here in the quotes again, the intensity of aspiration brings the intensity of experience. From this intensity of aspiration, from aspiration comes the experience. So intensity of aspiration, as it is as intense as the aspiration, so thus comes the experience, the intensity of experience. And by the persistent, by the repeated intensity of expression, here comes the change. For this change to come, the intensity of aspiration must be there to bring the intensity of experience, and with the repeated intensity of experience, there comes the change. So experience counts a lot in this way. So the fourth factor we are going, that is some surrender. We know surrender, many types of surrender we have seen, starting from right from the tamasic surrender, and some base surrender, then absolute surrender, vast surrender, complete surrender, surrender in the service of the soul, surrender. This is also, of course, this yoga is known as the yoga of surrender. So many things, so many ways we are seeing. But anyways, here in the sense, this surrender is essential. Surrender simply it means giving all your thoughts, your doings, everything in the hands of the mother. Every thought, every feeling, every moment, everything, it has to be given to in the hands of the mother, so that she can say as they have to take care of mother. We have to, of course, we have to surrender everything at the feet of the mother, at the hands of the mother. Here in the quotes here, surrender necessarily must be progressive. It must be the surrender of a living being, not of an inanimate automaton or mechanical tool. This living surrender is absolutely required for this progress, for this progress in sadhana. So it must be necessarily progressive. Initially we'll start, after some time we'll see, it's okay, we'll rest. No, not necessary. It will be a ceaseless, and it will be a progressive. It may take some, everything may not be done in a day. It may take some hour. It may take some even bursts together. Not only the surrender come by love, but so love also come by surrender. So it is like in the reversible process. So love and surrender both go together. Not only surrender come by love, but also love also come by surrender. So where shall we surrender? The next question is coming, where shall we surrender and how shall we surrender? The surrender to the Divine Mother is essential, for without it there is no fulfillment in the object of the yoga. If we are not surrendering at the Divine Mother, so the object will not be satisfied. The object is that transformation and perfection. So here in the course, this transformation can only be done by a power infinitely greater than the man's force. So entirely, wholeheartedly, entirely what you are, what you have, what you are going to do, obtain, everything give at her, because be the instrument. Raise your hands and say nimitto matram bhagvasatya sabyasachi. I am nothing, I am just an instrument, I am just a slave, I am here awaiting here for thy command. Like this you just get surrender, that will be everything. And very sometimes people feel it is necessary to go through tapasya for this surrender. Of course it is the essential. Fourth matter is gone. Now we are proceeding for the fifth one, that is japa. So japa, when somebody came and asked, like Surendra Jawahar asked and his wife, they asked, mother, you give me one mantra, so that before and after, every time we can be able to japa it, we can also chant it. Mother says in the playground, mother gave, it is ma, before sleeping 10 minutes before, and after getting up from bed at the early morning at the dawn for 10 minutes. So japa has a direct impact on the body. Sri Aurobindo has quoted, I have done 10 years of work in a couple of few months. So just imagine what is the effect in it. And in this, Sri Aurobindo, while he was crossing the inconscient rather, then he was also past the subconscient with a name in his murmuring on her lips. Name, and the steer in the course, all nature dumbly calls to her alone to heal with your feet the aching throb of life. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Satyamayi, Parame, it can be recited. Thank you.